Good morning, and thank you all for coming. I'm New York State Attorney General General Schneiderman, and I'm joined here today by New York City's great public advocate, Letitia James, by Rob Hill, who's the Vice President of Local 32BJ, which is a tireless partner in our fight for fairness in the workplace, and the head of my Labor Bureau, Terry Gerstein. We're also joined by a group of Skycaps, of workers at our airports, including Jeffery Young, who's going to say a few words. They are all employees of Allstate Maintenance who worked as Skycaps at Kennedy Airport, and they were all personally affected by the case we're here to talk about today. We'll hear a little more about their story in a few minutes, but I would also like to acknowledge the fact that we have other workers here with us today, other partners in the labor movement, and people from Kennedy Airport and other places that where some similar issues are arising. We're here today specifically to announce a major settlement with Allstate Maintenance, an airport contractor that was ripping off Skycaps, like Jeffrey and the other folks here, at Kennedy Airport. For those who don't know, Skycaps, los maleteros, greet passengers at curbside out the terminal, unload luggage from cars and taxis, tag the bags right there at the curb, move them inside, check in passengers so they don't have to wait in line. They help also with wheelchairs and strollers, and sometimes meet arriving passengers at the baggage carousel to help them get their luggage. For providing these essential services, nearly 40 Skycaps who worked outside Terminal 1 at J.F.K. between 2008 and this past June, like Jeffrey and his colleagues, got paid as little as $3.90 an hour. Until February 2013, Allstate Maintenance was paying these folks $3.90 an hour plus tips. Local 32BJ learned of this unfair treatment, brought the case to our office, and I want to thank Rob and the whole union for making it possible for us to obtain justice for these hardworking New Yorkers. We are recovering $925,000 from Allstate, and the employees who are shortchanged will be receiving an average of $20,000 apiece in back pay and damages. Because airline passengers sometimes tip Skycaps, the company decided it could get away with paying the Skycap tipped wage, which is lower than the regular minimum wage. But even if Allstate had fulfilled the legal requirements for taking the tip credit, which the company did not do, it would still have to pay these workers at least $5.40 an hour. So they, first of all, didn't take the legal steps they're required to take to make themselves eligible for the tip credit. And then even if they'd done that, they weren't paying the minimum salary that is required even for tipped workers, so they were cheating in two different ways. For most of the time period covered in our complaint, Allstate paid its employees $3.90 to $4.15 an hour, less than what New York State's minimum wage was in 1991. The full minimum wage was already $4.25 an hour then, and ladies and gentlemen, this is not 1991. These were not the wages required by the law, and this was wage theft, pure and simple. I'm very proud of the fact that my Labor Bureau over the last few years has aggressively pursued employers like Allstate to take advantage of their workers and seek to undercut decent employers who follow the rules and do pay the wages required by law. Since I took office in early 2011, we've ratcheted up enforcement of all wage and hour laws, pursued both civil and criminal cases against unscrupulous employers, and we've recovered almost $18 million for about 14,000 New York workers in restitution and recovered penalties for money owed to the state as well. We secured settlements totaling almost $1 million for about 2,400 fast food workers at more than 30 restaurants all across the state. We secured more than $2.4 million in restitution for more than 1,000 car wash workers. And in one of the most severe cases, we actually put one of the car wash owners in prison for taking advantage of his employees. In fact, we've increased the number of criminal cases brought by our Labor Bureau substantially. Over the last 3 years, we've obtained 16 criminal convictions against employers who couldn't or wouldn't pay home health aides or day laborers, or who were recidivists. And this is something we take very seriously. If someone settles a claim against them, agrees to abide by a set of rules, and then goes back and violates the same law, we're going after those people aggressively. We've also gone after construction companies that cheated their employees on public works project and have secured over $4.7 million for workers who were underpaid by companies that were required by law to pay the higher prevailing wage. So now Allstate, as of today's settlement, will be paying $625,000 in restitution as well as nearly $300,000 in damages. Last Wednesday, These Skycaps and other Allstate employees staged a one-day strike to protest Allstate's unfair labor practices, and the National Labor Relations Board will be holding a hearing next month to address the issues that have been raised. I stand with these workers in their efforts to unionize and to achieve fairness in the workplace. And I think it's very important to understand the partnership that makes this possible. We have workers who are finding their voice, who are now willing to stand up and speak up and ask for justice. We have our partners in organized labor that are reaching beyond their own union membership to help others who have yet to form a union or want to form a union but haven't been able to do it. And our office is right there, along with them, Terry and the rest of the great folks in our Labor Bureau, to pursue people who do not follow existing law, even as we seek to reform the law to make it better for all. And a little bit in Espanol. And
let's let Telemundo get set before you do it.
Okay, comprendo. I'll come back to Spanish in a minute. Cada dia. So let me just say that I'm proud of the work that we do in our Labor Bureau, and it doesn't matter if you are maleteros, Skycaps, carwacheros, or trabajan en el restaurante, or you're working in a restaurant. We are going to pursue justice for everyone, and I'd now like to introduce someone who is another tremendous advocate for change. It's very appropriate that she has the title of Public Advocate, because she certainly is, and someone who works closely with our office on a variety of matters, and is a former member of the Office of the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to thank as a former Assistant Attorney General, I want to thank my fellow colleagues who work in the Labor Department, and as well as the Attorney General. In May 2014, Attorney General Schneiderman reached a settlement with AirServe Corporation, an airline contractor based at both LaGuardia Airport and JFK, for underpaying nearly 300 minimum wage wheelchair attendants. And today I'm proud to join the Attorney General in announcing another successful settlement with Allstate Maintenance for underpaying 40 Skycaps. Skycaps assist airport operations through completing curbside check-ins, moving luggage, and assisting travelers in need of special assistance. I was proud to lend my support last week to J.F.K. Airport Terminal 1 workers in their efforts to organize with the Service Employees International Union Local 32BJ, a labor union committed to addressing income inequality not only in New York City but across this nation. They seek to organize because so many airport employees continue to be grossly underpaid. It is criminal, it's really unacceptable that the people who ensure that our air travel is safe, convenient, and uninterrupted are making far below minimum wage. The state-imposed minimum wage for tip workers is $6.05, not $4, not $5.50. Companies doing business with New York State should not be allowed to pay their employees below the legal minimum wage. The $925,000 Allstate settlement consists of roughly $625,000 in restitution and an additional $300,000 in damage, all of which will be distributed to workers. I proudly stand with Attorney General Schneiderman, who has consistently demonstrated a commitment to ensuring equitable pay for airport workers, car washeros, women in fast food industry, and restaurant workers all across this nation. I congratulate him, I congratulate his staff, and I congratulate the workers. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce one of the Skycaps who is a part of this organizing effort and is going to say a few words, Jeffery Young.
Hello, good morning. My name is Jeffery Young. I've been a worker at Allstate Maintenance since 2005. Since then, me and my fellow co-workers been getting paid $3.90 an hour. Today we here for a settlement, and it's not something that we here to be proud of. We here because we earned it, and we've been working for it since the time that we've been working. This is a big win for everybody, not just us, but for the whole airport. J.F.K. earns billions of dollars, and we've been getting underpaid for the longest. and we took a stand that we should stand up for it and not allow it no more. Also, I'm here because I want other members that's part of our company in JFK Airport to win also. A lot of companies that's in JFK Airport, LaGuardia, Newark, is all getting underpaid. And nobody is standing up for it because everybody is afraid. This is a big win again for all of us, not just Skycaps, wheelchair, baggage handlers, everybody that is part of us as a company. We here today to show everybody that we stand up for everybody as a whole group. So when we leave here today, we're gonna go back to work and we're gonna do our job the same way we've been doing it. But this is not just a win for all of us. This is a win because of what we've been working for. The thing is that sometimes that when we work, a lot of the passengers don't see what we go through, and they just see us as a people that's out here working and not knowing that we getting underpaid, because that's something that some of the companies keep as a secret, and they get a big bonus at the end of the year. And it's not something that we've been trying to earn, but it's something that we should be given as we working. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you, and Jeffrey makes a very important point. If you're going to claim a tipped wage credit, you have to inform your employees in writing of what the rules are, and you have to monitor the tips. So it's important for us to, as we work to reform the laws in New York, and we are making changes, and hopefully we'll have more coming up in minimum wage and tipped wage. But my job as Attorney General is to make sure the laws we have are enforced. Because if you pass laws but you're not enforcing them across the board, you're not sending a message to employers that we will come after you if you violate these laws, then the system doesn't work. So we're proud to be doing that. And for everyone else who's a tipped worker or worker who's not being paid the wages they're entitled to, contact our office. Some people come through the Public Advocate's office. A lot of people contact 32BJ, which is taking the lead in the organizing for both fast food workers. SEIU really is nationally, as well as the folks at the airports. Speak up. It's time to find your voices. We'll be there to work with you and to protect your rights. And with that, Oh, sure, ¿por qué no? En mi oficina tratamos el robo de salarios igual que cualquier otro robo. No importa que sean maleteros, carwacheros o trabajen en restaurante. Vamos a defender un salario justo para todos.
Folks, we'll take a few questions. You can just introduce yourself before you start.
Paul Murnane, WCBS Radio. I believe Mr. Young said that this may be an issue at other airports. Is this an ongoing investigation? Can you say if there is any evidence or any indication that this is something that goes beyond this one company and one airport?
Well, I can't comment on the specifics of any ongoing investigations, but I have to say that since we staked out a very aggressive stance on fighting for workers who are being underpaid, whether it's minimum wage, tipped wage, or prevailing wage, more people have been coming forward, and we encourage everyone to come forward if you feel that you're not getting what you're due. So I can't comment on specifics, but we're doing a lot of work in this area. Yeah.
Jill Jorgensen with the New York Observer. I was wondering if you could speak to kind of more broadly what kind of momentum settlements like this and the fast food strikes and all of those pushes what kind of momentum that gives to a push for a higher minimum wage in New York State, and particularly in New York City, as we come into some elections and obviously a new session in office?
Sure. I think that there is a national movement growing around the issue of economic inequality. And one of the most basic steps you can take to address the issue of economic inequality is to make sure people get a fair day's wage for a hard day's work. And I have to say that some of the lowest paid workers, when they stand up, the car wash workers, the fast food workers, the Skycaps, really send a message to everyone else in the system, everyone else in labor, everyone else in management. Because if you just talk to people on the street, whether they define themselves as Democrats or Republicans, conservatives or liberals, they're going to tell you no one should have to work full time and then go home and try and survive on $17,000, $18,000, $19,000 a year. That's just not the American way. We all are in this together as a society. We have to make sure people have enough to pay for health care, raise their families. And in New York, we have raised the minimum wage in the last legislative session. There's been an announcement that the wage is being raised again. It was as of July 31st. In our office, we're making sure that that's applied across the board, that people are following the rules. And this is something that you should expect to see as a part of a growing national movement here and across the country in the next few years.
Anyone else? Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, guys.